Everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at Porsche. We're starting with the Porsche Macan. We finally have some clear sketch of what the Porsche Macan might look like. And my first impression is that it looks absolutely amazing. From the headlights to the grille, the inlets, the positioning, the design, the mystique, everything about the design quality really looks amazing. It's as if it looks like a Porsche with a touch of Lamborghini and a touch Koenigsegg. Now I know that sounds weird. This does not look like a Koenigsegg. At first impressions, you might think so. But the more I look at it, it has an influence of a little bit of Lamborghini. It's very much Porsche, but a little bit of Lamborghini and a little bit of Koenigsegg. Don't get me wrong, I love all of those brands anyway. Now this is Porsche's all-electric Macan and it's set to debut on January the 25th. Porsche has wasted no time in building up the anticipation and excitement. These are unseen design sketches that were published by the automaker on Monday, giving us a best look at the newly electrified crossover Porsche Macan. The Porsche Macan has been around for quite some time and it's been beloved within the Porsche family. But now Porsche wants to take that a step further by bringing us a Macan that is fully electric. So today we want to look at the Porsche Macan, of course. We want to look at Porsche's numbers, the stock. Now when I say numbers, I mean how well has the company been performing? And as it turns out, this company has been performing extremely well. And I do have some numbers to prove this. So in my opinion, the Porsche Macan, the electric car, this will be one of the best car to the market. This is Porsche in the most genius way of making cars. You know, Porsche did the same thing with the Panamera. And what they did is that they made the Taycan. It's a sibling of the Panamera, but it's significantly improved in design aesthetic. Everything on the Porsche Taycan has been improved based off the Porsche Panamera. This is Porsche being absolutely ingenious in the way they engineer, in the way they produce vehicles, and in the way they market these vehicles to a very specific audience. And you can see slowly but surely this company is electrifying their fleet of vehicles. And this is ingenious. One of the ingenious parts about this, they're actually starting with the SUVs and the sedans, of course. They're hitting us with models such as the Taycan, but now they're bringing out the Macan, and next will perhaps be the Cayenne. I also hear that they're working on an electric Boxer. And I believe this is specifically to test the roadster electric market, to really see if people are willing to buy electric roadsters, electric sports car. Could we someday see a Porsche electric 911? I mean, that's Porsche's best performing vehicle of all time in terms of sales. So ideally, they're perhaps leaving that till last. That'd be perhaps the last Porsche vehicle to transition. But you can see they're really putting a huge emphasis on how they transition into an electric company. And Porsche is one of the best companies doing this right now. There's also Audi, BMW, Mercedes, but those are mass-producing car companies. Porsche produce a significant less proportion of vehicles, but they make a great amount of money because their vehicles are not cheap. They're expensive and they're for a specific market, a market that you can't really beat. It's the Porsche market. The upcoming Porsche Macan marks the first time the brand has electrified one of its existing products, making a huge moment in the EV transition. The vehicle is based on VW's new premium platform electric PPE architecture, which will also underpin vehicles like Audi Q6 e-tron. The automaker hasn't shared too many specification details at this moment, but we do know that the platform will be backed by a battery pack with 100 kilowatts of gross capacity. Now keep in mind, Porsche has maintained that the Macan will provide better range than the Taycan models. You know, that's a significant offering. The Taycan is already an extremely good electric vehicle to buy. And considering the fact that they're improving upon this with an SUV, which is essential. SUVs are like family cars, but it's a sport family car. Having an SUV with great mileage is essential. Porsche has shared that at least one variant will be powered by a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup, which will provide over 600 brake horsepower and 738 Nm of torque. The SUV is expected to utilize a 800-volt architecture as the Taycan, which Porsche says will allow the SUV to charge from 10 to 80% full in just over 20 minutes. Now, this is what that vehicle looks like from the rear. And once again, it does look quite nice, but I'm a little bit worried about how it would look from the rear in real life. This is just a sketch. Now, if I'm being completely honest, the current Porsche Macan I do like, front and rear. And I especially like the rear because of how it's designed in a very sleek way. I hope Porsche keeps some of this design aesthetic. I've seen the prototype on the roads, but the prototype is unfinished, of course, and it's hiding a lot of details. That's the point of prototype. That's the point of having a test vehicle. So this vehicle should be a significant improvement. Very sexy, smooth, but also a little bit of hint of sharp angles. You know, it's real competition, honestly. And Porsche has been known to bring great competition to the electric market and to the supercar market in general. Just to the sport car industry, Porsche is known for this. If the Porsche Macan looks anything like the sketch, I think I'll be quite happy. I think people in general will actually really like this vehicle. And currently, the Porsche Macan GTS is one of my favorites. I really like how they've designed that vehicle. I like it more than the Cayenne. The Cayenne is a little bit bigger. It's a family vehicle. It's not really my style, but the Macan, it's perfect. So hopefully they've kept some of that identity with the Macan EV. So yes, I do believe this is genius marketing by Porsche. I believe this is a genius engineering strategy by Porsche. They really tested the waters with the Taycan, and it's proven to be a great success for Porsche. Now they're trying to bring SUVs on board to electrification, and that's going to be a huge success for Porsche. And let me explain why. So what we want to look at today is the Porsche's AG growth in the first 9 months of 2023. This was absolutely incredible. Keep in mind, this was roughly after a year of the company going public. The IPO was in September 29th, 2022. And since then, the shares have fallen significantly. But does this mean that the Porsche company was overpriced? Perhaps at the time it was overpriced, but certainly I'm starting to understand that the company, in terms of the stock price, is starting to find the area that it's really valued at. Key figures of Q3 2023. For one, the group sales in total in 9 months is just over 13 billion euros. That's a 12.6% increase compared to the previous year. The growth operating profit, 5.5 billion euros, 9% compared to the previous year. And here's what's the kicker. Here's what's ingenious. The group operating return on sale, 18.3%. Now, how about the net cash flow? It's 3.39 billion euros. This is only in 9 months. This is a 3.5% increase compared to the previous year. And get this, they delivered almost 250,000 vehicles in only 9 months. That's a 9.6% increase from the previous year. How are they doing this? Porsche's been around for decades. They've been around for an insanely long time. How are they achieving these numbers? Now, if you're interested in that, let me know, because I will make another video on Porsche and I can dive a little bit more in depth into the numbers and let's make it make sense. Why are Porsche growing this much? A company at this scale, vehicles are not cheap. It shouldn't be growing this much. In a time when inflation is going through the roof, the cost of living is going through the roof, but clearly for the Porsche audience, they're doing just fine. If anything, it looks like they're doing incredible because they're buying more Porsches. Absolutely incredible. So if you ever want to understand the real dynamics of the global economy, look at what the rich people are doing. They're doing just fine. I'm not gonna say any more. But I do like these numbers from Porsche. It is absolutely remarkable. And in our next video, we can perhaps take a deeper look on the details. Let's take a deeper look on 2022, but the full year of 2022 and perhaps the full year of 2023 as well. That's going to be incredible. So I will make another video on Porsche quite soon because the Macan EV is coming and I've been excited for this EV for quite some time. I just hope it looks good. I think the front will look incredible, but I'm not so sure about the rear. Currently, I do like the Macan GTS. It looks absolutely incredible. It looks like there are some mock-ups online on what this car might look like. And we've seen a fair few of those. And to be honest, looking at it closer, it makes a lot more sense. These leak images makes a lot more sense. They look very similar to the Porsche Sketch. And you know, it doesn't really look like a small SUV. It's supposed to be a small baby SUV. It's all relative, right? You put this next to a tall gentleman and you realize, okay, it's a big SUV, but it's not a huge SUV. It's a coupe SUV. It's a mid-size electric SUV. but it looks a little bit bigger than the Model Y, somewhere between the Model Y and the Model X. Now, we talk about Polestar on this channel quite a lot. How do you think the Polestar competition will fare against the Porsche electric Macan? It's so interesting that Polestar is unveiling. It's so interesting that Polestar is starting sales or orders in the UK for the Polestar 4 Coupe SUV, and Porsche is unveiling their Macan electric SUV. These are supposed to be rivals, competitors, at least to Polestar, at least to Porsche. It's still not fully on their radar. They do take it a little bit serious because I'm sure Porsche has seen the Polestar 6 and they know that Polestar can design really incredible vehicles. So they know that Polestar is coming for them. You know, the incredible thing about the Porsche numbers, it's around 240,000 plus vehicles delivered. You know, Polestar is aiming for those similar numbers in the long run. 5, 6, 7 years, they're aiming for those numbers, 250,000 cars for Polestar. That's what they want to do on an annual basis. They want to do similar delivery numbers to Porsche, and that won't be easy at all. But also, Polestar has something different to offer to individuals. They really do. So this will be quite exciting. Let me know, what do you think about the Porsche numbers? If you are curious about the Porsche share price, keep in mind right now it's perhaps at one of the cheapest price you could ever imagine. This is what the Porsche company looks like in euros, 74 euros per share. You can see it's lost a ton of value, but in market cap, it's still around 34 billion in market cap. I do believe that this company is undervalued. I say that from time to time, but in this case, I really believe it's undervalued. If you enjoy these videos, leave a like, leave a comment. If you want more videos on Porsche, on the Porsche share, on the Porsche company numbers, let me know. I'll make a video on that. Do you think it's genius what Porsche is doing? I really do. I think it's genius what they're doing, how they're transitioning into the electrification era. That's ingenious. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.